welcome.
Ah, there you are, and just in time. I've a few moments before my guests arrive. I've invited them all over for an historic visit, or should I say, a special visit of my history. Well, not only mine, exactly. I meant Canadian history. Of course I did. As a matter of fact, that's exactly why I'm here. I would like to invite you as well. I know this is something that you wouldn't want to miss.
Looking to offer more than a simple guided tour, the Canadian Museum of Civilization's Educational Services has created a unique interactive journey where students can explore Canadian heritage in an atmosphere of fun and adventure. Each visit is carefully tailored to each group's level and educational needs, in such a way that every teacher can look upon it as an extension of his or her curriculum. Our educational programs span Canadian history, starting with the First Nations. In the Grand Hall, students visit a full-size reconstruction of Pacific Coast native villages. The opportunity to wear native clothing and handle ancient tools brings a better understanding of the diversity and richness of the First Nations cultures. Further on, in the Canada Hall, students can retrace the arrival of European settlers and their adaptation to the New World. Our program's personalized approach to history is designed to stimulate the students' natural curiosity. The museum also has a special collection of artifacts set aside exclusively for school programs. Our aim is to go beyond cognitive learning by calling upon their other senses as well as their emotions. It's always a pleasure to see the students' expressions when they come into contact with some of these objects. When students visit the exhibits and participate in the activities, they are always accompanied by our volunteer educators who have been trained specifically for this task. Our volunteers receive more than 150 hours of training. They are constantly conducting research on our history and expanding their knowledge base so that every visit is as interesting as possible.
Here I've been trained in the history of the Grand Hall, the New France area, and the Dig, as well as some other areas which are of interest to me. In the Volunteer Center, we're given time to do supplementary study, not necessarily just for the students, but rather general research, which will help us better understand the work we do.
In order to make history come to life, our volunteers also call upon the talents of our professional acting company. All the actors in the museum's theatre company, Drama Muse, transform the life-size reconstructions of the Canada Hall into an unforgettable interactive adventure thanks to their accurate interpretation of historical characters. Interaction with the logging camp's cook and other people of the past is a unique learning tool that helps students better understand the events, great and small, that have forged the history of our nation and clearly motivates them to learn more about the era.
And this here is my shaving axe. So that's the one I use like a razor. Oh, yeah.
You nuts?
Well, only once a week.
I try to use the background that I've learned about the 1850s to communicate with them what life was like in Canada at that time, more specifically in the Ottawa Valley.
Tell me, what kind of games do people play when they come? Bowling, bowling, yes. What else? Cards. Hockey. Les cartes, yes. Hockey. What is hold on a second. What is hockey?
It's a stick and a puck around a little thing, and you shoot it into two poles. Okay. And then you get a goal, which is 1 point.
In 1755, she is 30 years old. She lost her husband in the typhoid outbreak of 1747, and she has one daughter to be married in the next year. So that's some kind of biography, and I know all my neighbors around. What I try to give them is really more than what they get in history books. Here they can feel what it was on day-to-day life.
The shoemaker is looking for an apprentice. Anyone is interested?
I am.
You
I
are?
there was.
Yes.
He doesn't deserve it.
You would have to leave your family the way and live with him during 2-3 years, eh?
To create a background for our characters, we do a lot of research. We learn as much as we can about a specific era in order to answer questions and improvise in a natural and plausible way. Our greatest impact comes from our ability to react as a man or a woman of that period. To do this, you need to rely on more than historical facts. You need to rely on your ability to portray characters who act and think like real people who lived at another time in history.
Let's keep on with the job description. You get up at 5 after a good breakfast.
Regardez-la. Vous voyez les photos ici en haut? C'est le grand mode.
Ah, mais ça ne sert à rien, madame, je ne sais ni lire ni écrire. Non, je prendrais plutôt des fusils, par exemple.
It is said that those who forget their history are condemned to repeat it. In that case, allow me to invite you to the Canadian Museum of Civilization, where we will help you relive history. You'll never forget it. Oh, excuse me. I believe I hear my guests arriving. See you soon.
So that's like that's like a skirt. Put it in your trunk. Well, yes, you get to choose your dance partner. Choose one of these guys as your dance.
À la prochaine. Attention sur le train, c'est sale.